We recently got a puppy, a Labrador puppy, during COVID, like everybody else, and the whole process has been so overwhelming but beautiful. We love our little guy, and I invested hours and hours in research via YouTube and books and whatnot, trying to kind of understand what I need to do to bring this new family member into our house. So I thought, a lot of people are getting their puppies, so I thought this might be helpful. So the first things first is I've wanted a dog for the longest time, and I have two kids, and both are now in double digits, so it's the perfect time to actually care for another being. And I've grown up with dogs all my life, mostly shepherds. This time around, we went for a Labrador Retriever, and I'm so glad we did. So right before we decided we're going to get the puppy, and then the next process was from whom are we going to get this puppy. I think that's where the research began as to what I should look for in a breeder. Because I wanted to make sure it was not from a puppy mill. I wanted to make sure he comes from good stock. And so I started researching about breeders, and it was during COVID, so it was hard to get a puppy, leave alone getting a puppy from a very reputable breeder. But the one thing that I absolutely knew I wanted for sure is to make sure that the puppy's mother and father, the sire and the dam, um, have their health clearances. So every breeder that I went to either had the mother's clearance or the father's clearance, and I was like, how is that supposed to work? Isn't it 50-50? So I finally found a breeder. I can't give her name, but she had Showline English Labradors, and we'll talk about the difference in a second. Showline English Labradors, and she had the health clearance for both the mother and the father. And if you are a Showline breeder, you will actually have that recorded in a database called the OFAA. Actually, you can Google that, and they will give you a number. I think it begins in an SR, if I'm not mistaken, and then you type out that SR, then it gives that dog's health history, and if it comes from a long line of Showline breed, then it will have, that dog, Pax, that's my dog's name, by the way. Pax had his father, his mother, his grandmother, his grandfather, his grandfather's father. So he had a whole line of family history, all recorded in the OFAA database. So that made me feel very comfortable that at least from the get-go, Pax will not probably will have a lower chance of getting some of the genetically predisposed diseases such like hip dysplasia and whatnot. I think I look for hip, I think for elbows, and I think for eyes. And those all were cleared for him. I mean, not for him, but for his parents. And I think there was one particular one, it's called the exercise-induced collapse, EIC. And if both the parents have it, then it's a problem. But if only the mother has it or the father has it, then the offspring is not going to have it. So that's another thing I learned through this, because it was like EIC positive, and I was freaking out. And then, either it is the mother or the father it has it, but if both of them have it, then it is an issue. So that is something I learned as well. So after all this, we decided to go with the breeder. After I was comfortable with the health clearances, I was able to track down all the show lines or the titles. Pax's father is a grand champion, GCH, that's what his title is. So I was able to Google that and find out that it is true. His father was a grand champion, his mother was a champion. Not that it really matters, it's not like I'm going to show Pax out in the show, I don't think so. But it was good to know that he comes from good stuff. But that's not as important, right? It's the health that's really important, and I was very satisfied with that. And so we finally we had the first pick of the litter, and we actually, he comes from Kentucky, so we were only able to pick him via Zoom. So that was a little bit of a harrowing experience, trying to pick this new member of the family whom we are hopefully going to be with for 15 to 20 years. That's the commitment. That's another thing I wanted to mention, via Zoom. But we did it. We all four of us agreed that, Pax is the guy for our family. Something about his temperament, his curiosity, and whatnot. That was the puppy for us. And so then he actually flew using a puppy nanny from Kentucky. So if you are getting puppies from a breeder further away from you where you can't drive and pick up the puppy, then the next best alternative is to get a puppy nanny who actually brings the puppy with her, because he's under 20 pounds at that age, at 8 weeks. So she literally goes to the breeder, picks up the puppy, and then brings the puppy with her in the plane, and then she meets you at the airport and then hands over the puppy to you. And I was able to find a reputable puppy nanny. So, if you want to know her contact, put it in the comments and I'll send it over. But once again, multiple contacts and whatnot, making sure this is a valid person who's going to bring this precious thing back to us. And the breeder was freaking out because she's never sent a puppy by a puppy nanny. But everything turned out really good, because she had multiple reviews. I call people, make sure you do that. Get for references, call people, call a couple of people to make sure this puppy nanny is who she says she is. There's a lot of scams going on, guys, so be very careful. So at the end of the day, everything worked out for us, and we got our Labrador puppy. So in the next episode, we will talk about how to prepare your house for this new furry member. There's a lot of things that we did and bought and kept it ready, because believe me, your life's just going to be thrown upside down as soon as this little fur ball enters your life. So it's good to be ready for it, and so that you're less stressed. So if you want to know about what to buy for your puppy, tune in for the next episode. Thank you, guys. Bye.